it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's reading vlog. I'm sure you've already seen the thumbnail and read the title, so you know what's going on today. I am letting my dog Echo pick a book off of my physical TBR. Obviously, he cannot read every single title on the entire physical TBR, so I'm gonna pick 3 books and he's gonna choose from those. A couple months ago, I actually did this with my other dog, Dexter, and you may notice if you saw that video that I am not holding Echo in the introduction, and that is for several reasons. First of all, Dexter is 11 pounds, Echo is 40. He is much more difficult to hold, but in addition to that, he really dislikes being held in your arms, whereas Dexter loves it. I'm sorry you don't see Echo right this second. However, you will see him in the coming clips. I promise he will be featured in this vlog. I just posted my physical TBR video. I've got over 150 books to read, so let's get going on reading that physical TBR. I am in the mood for fantasy this week, so I'm gonna pick 3 fantasy authors that I have never read from before, and I'm gonna let my dog choose which one I read. Welcome to the vlog. I hope you have a fun time with me today. Okay, so these are the 3 books that I'm gonna let Echo pick from. They're all brand new to me authors, which is very fun. I love trying out new authors. First of all, I picked The Book That Wouldn't Burn. The way people talk about this book, they say it's so magical and just leaves a lasting impact on you. I also want to check it out because it's a book about books. This one by Adrian Tchaikovsky. First of all, the sequel to this is already out. Actually, I think the sequels to all of these are already out. I have to double check on this, but I'm pretty sure it came out last month. But not only is the sequel out for this, the 3rd book in the series is also coming out at the end of this year, which is just insane. Apparently Adrian Tchaikovsky is a machine, but I picked this one because it has a lot of themes that I enjoy. Basically, it has a lot of moving parts, and also it's a civilization on the brink of rebellion, and that's something that I love in my books. And then Black Sun I picked because it is supposed to have just a fascinating and very, very unique world in it. Also, I know that the 2nd book in this series didn't have the best reviews, but if I like this book, the 3rd book in this series is coming out this year and it is a trilogy, so if I like this, I could potentially start and finish this all in this year. These are the 3 books. I'm gonna go grab some treats and then we'll get Echo in here and he will pick what I'm gonna read. Hi! Yeah, hi! Yeah. Hi. Do you want to figure out what's going on, buddy? Do you think you can figure out what's going on? You haven't even noticed. Yeah, you haven't even noticed at all. I need you guys to understand that I literally showed him that I had TREAPs. And he's sniffing my hand now because he knows and he can smell that I was holding them. But he is not the smartest dog. He's trying his best. Yes, you're trying your best. Oh, good stretch, bud. If I ignore you, will you figure it out? Can you figure it out if I ignore you? Or do you think that since you're just sitting, you're gonna get it because you're a good boy? You are a best boy. I'm just gonna ignore him now. It will make me sad, but I'm gonna ignore him until he figures it out. He keeps sniffing my hand and moving my phone. I'm sorry, guys. Echo, come here. Go get it.
Oh my god, guys, he literally doesn't know that they're there. Look! Look, buddy! Look! 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 Maybe if I pretend like I have a treat in my hand and I put it down, then he'll start sniffing. Oh my god, I put it on the carpet, but he literally... He's like, where did you put it? It's not here. I sniffed the carpet. Buddy. Oh no, this video is about to fail right from the start. Buddy, I swear to God, it's there. I promise. Look. Oh my god, okay. Okay, we're reading Black Sun. Oh my god, is he gonna figure out that there's more? Oh my god, he's so close. Okay, well, I think I'm just gonna have to give him the others because he literally sniffed on top of the book and still missed that it was there. I'm telling you guys, he does his best, and that's good enough for me.
Hi, I wanted to film a quick update because I'm about to go to bed. I have made it to 100 pages into Black Sun. Yes, I didn't just get out of the shower. Yes, I did put on eye makeup just for this clip that I'm now going to have to wash off my face. I am so far not necessarily feeling anything particular about this book. It's not that I'm not enjoying myself per se, it's just that really nothing much has happened. The first chapter was kind of bonkers, and then after that, it's kind of just been a lot of setup. So far, there are 3 characters. There is a middle-aged priestess who is living in this city called Tova. It's this religious organization where there's 4 different groups within, but she is the sun priestess and she seems to be in charge, but there are also other lead priests of the other 3 groups who seem like they would like to be able to have more power, so there's some tension there. Also, the sun priestess would like to make some changes that are not necessarily the most popular. It seems that the priesthood overall is responsible for ending a war generations and generations ago, and so this religious organization seems to have a lot of control over how the entire nation is run and making rules to maintain that peace basically. And there's kind of a little bit of tension between the royalty of this city and the priesthood. So there's 4 branches within the religion, and then there are 4 clans that are like basically royal families within this city Tova, and it seems like these families kind of want to get more power from the priesthood, and also that like the priesthood's power has been declining the longer they've been at peace. And so the Sun Priestess, she wants to get power back for the church, but not only that, it seems that she kind of wants to do some reforms within the church to kind of make the church be more for like everybody, because right now the church seems to only help like the people who already have the power, who can already afford to pay for help if they need it, instead of helping like the people who actually need it. So she's not necessarily very popular. I don't have like that much information at the moment for how things work out. I'm just kind of getting hints about what the Sun Priestess wants to accomplish based off of like lines here and there of how she has interacted with other members. I just know that like she wants to get more power for the priests and then use that power to help like the common folk, which they don't really seem to do at the moment. I don't necessarily know about like a priesthood getting more power, but helping the common people does seem like a good thing. I will say that the Sun Priestess's point of view is my least favorite. I just like don't really like her as a character, whatever. And then we also have a sailing captain. She starts off in jail, and this super rich guy pays her bail and is like, hey, I need the best captain to bring this boat to Tova, and you have to do it in 20 days, which is like almost an impossible feat. But this ship captain, she has like some magical powers, it seems, related to water. So he's like, I want you to take this boat. It is like absolutely crucial that you get there within 20 days. And I really like her point of view. I do tend to like sailors slash pirates in books. I usually have like a lot of fun with those characters, so I definitely like her point of view. Now we're getting into the most interesting character. So the third main character is this dude, and his name is Serapio, and he is on the boat, and that is the reason that they need to get the boat there in 20 days, because he needs to be in the city in 20 days. We don't really know what's gonna happen at all, to be honest. We know that like in 20 days is going to be the convergence, which I assume is some type of celestial event. And I assume that because of what happened in chapter 1. So I'm assuming he needs to get there because there's going to be like some important celestial event that's going to like power him up, and then he can do what he needs to do. Serapio's character is so interesting because in chapter 1, chapter 1 is like 20 years before like the main plot starts. And in that chapter, Serapio is like a child. His mother tells him that he is going to become a god. And then she feeds him poison and like carves on his chest and arms and back. It's like a religious scarification. And then she forces him to watch an eclipse happen, a solar eclipse. And that's why I think that like this convergence will be some type of celestial event, because like the whole thing started with a solar eclipse. So it makes sense that like whatever this other thing is going to be another celestial occurrence. She forces him to stare at the solar eclipse, which obviously makes him go blind, and then she like stitches his eyes closed and then jumps off of a cliff to her death. And so Serapio is like, I'm gonna become a god. And he, that makes for a very interesting character. Basically, like, Serapio is going to become the crow god. So like a long time ago in this like capital city, some atrocity happened where like the priest group of people like slaughtered almost the entire Crow clan, and now Serapio's mother's like, well, I'm gonna resurrect the Crow god and get revenge for my entire clan. But he's kind of like lived his life in hiding. We're working with like a lot of moving parts in this because there are 4 branches of the religious organization, and then there are 4 clans that have political power within the city of Tova. It makes it like very, very interesting. For the most part, it seems that like these rich political families funnel their kids into the priesthood, and like those priests then kind of do have like a family tie, even though they're not supposed to. So the way that factions can form within the different clans working together versus within like the different areas of the priesthood working together, and how like many different combinations could occur, makes it seem like it could be really, really interesting in terms of like a political thing. But like obviously we only have 20 days until this convergence is going to happen. Listen, I don't know exactly what's going to go down on that. There's a lot of things that could get in the way in between then, and it's setting things up to be very, very interesting. Now, has anything happened? No. Nope. Not a goddamn thing has happened except us like learning about the world and a lot of setup. To be perfectly honest, it's been just a lot of listening to characters talk to each other. If you don't like books that take a while to get set up, then you might not enjoy this. I'm fine with it. I do not mind slow-paced books. I do not care how long it takes you to set up your book, as long as the payoff is good. It does seem like everything is written with intention, so I do feel like we're not meandering. I feel like this is just like necessary setup, like we have to put the pieces onto the chessboard in order to get where we need to get at the end of the book. Okay, I've been talking too long. I'm gonna go. This is so pathetic. I'm gonna go take this eye makeup off, and then I'm gonna go to bed. Hello, good morning. Thought I would do a quick update while I wait for this face mask to finish. Sometimes I kind of like doing updates when I have the face mask on because it can only stay on for 15 minutes, so it forces me to like not talk too much. I am almost halfway through the book. I don't actually have all that much to say from what I did on like my very first update of the book. It's not to say that like I'm not enjoying my time in the book. It's more just that like it's been another 100 pages of spending time with these characters and hanging out with them, and things moving into position where they need to be for the second half of this book. I do get the feeling that this first book, because it is only like 20 days of time and we are spending so much time with these characters individually, I do get the feeling that this is primarily a setup book to kind of unleash the conflict that's been building for a while, especially between like the Crow clan and the priest organization. There's the tension between the priest organization and the Crow clan, and then there's also tension between the priests and the other clans. So on the one hand, you have the Crow clan who want justice for what happened to them in the past, and like they deserve it, like rightfully so, they want this justice. And then on the other hand, you have the other three clans who are kind of just doing like normal. Can you guys hear that? Dexter is currently digging in his bed. He's digging to make it more comfortable. So these other three clans are kind of trying to get like more power from the priests, and then there are like different factions within the priests. And then on top of that, like you have Serapio coming in. And I do feel as though, because this book is only like 20 pages, that this is kind of building and like letting the reader in on the tensions that already existed, and it's going to culminate in unleashing those tensions and a major conflict. We know that something happens because we have had one chapter on like the day of convergence, but we don't necessarily know why the events in that one chapter we've got happened, because there are so many moving parts. Like what happened in that chapter could have easily been caused by many different things, and we don't know how it completely and entirely plays out with all of the different factions. I do not recommend these books as like, if you like this, read this, like, because they are not similar at all. However, the way this conflict is put together and how many different little groups and factions and how different characters doing small things is affecting the overall whole. The setup of it does remind me a little bit of Little Fires Everywhere. The tension buildup, I think, has been really, really great. At this point, I'm kind of just like waiting for the storm to arrive, kind of literally, because part of the story is told on a boat that's out at sea, and you know, you kind of just expect everything at sea to go wrong because of how superstitious the sailors are, and because of Ziala and Serapio being like not normal, just regular human people. It does give the potential for things to be very explosive if something goes wrong on that boat. And I am assuming that things are going to go wrong, because like, it's a fantasy story. Like, how could things not go wrong? Like, you put two of the three POV characters on a boat in the middle of the ocean and give them magic that other people are afraid of, and you expect me to believe that they're gonna sail smoothly? No, like, obviously something is gonna go really, really poorly in this scenario, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. Shit is about to hit the fan in like 8 different ways. Ziala is definitely still my favorite character. I do like Serapio as a character, but I don't know if I entirely trust him, not because of like him, but just because of like the indoctrination and everything with like the Crow God and like the cult and all of that. Like, obviously he's gonna play a major part in like the conflict, which I can feel is about to kick off in like the last 200 pages of the book. Anytime really there's a character in a book that has been conditioned their entire life to like fulfill this one purpose, I do have a hard time trusting that character. I'm not sure how his actions are going to play out from like an ethical point of view, but at the same time, I do acknowledge that like the Crow clan is entitled to justice, and that there definitely is corruption within the like priests faction. It's just hard because like you're kind of dealing with multiple factions and none of them are like exactly right. Like there is no right and there is no wrong. Narampa is still my least favorite character. Like honestly, it just kind of drives me crazy that she is so oblivious to what is happening around her. It's like she doesn't see the political movements around her, despite the fact that she's been there the majority of her life, like since she was 13. And like, it's just like, girl, do you not pay attention? Do you not see what's happening? And it's like her background within like living in the slums and seeing like how people have to live and what they have to do to survive, combined with her seeing this political movement for like over 20 years, I just feel like she's too naive and too oblivious to what's going on around her, and it does drive me crazy. I do not like her as a character. I am off today, so my plan is to finish this book and I will report back when I'm done. Okay, it is many hours later. I finished Black Sun. It was excellent. I am settling on a 4-star for this. That just feels right. I can't tell you anything more about the plot. I don't even want to hint at everything that happened, but yeah, let's just say that after the last update, shit hit the fan, which I thought it was going to, and yes, it really hit the fan in a lot of different ways. I don't really feel like I can necessarily side with any one person or group of people, and that keeps me on my toes. It keeps me interested. I've already ordered book 2. I cannot wait for it to get here. I do maintain what I said about the characters and who I like. I really feel like it could go so many different directions. There are literally so many characters that could become heroes or could become villains in the next book. And I genuinely, like, I have no idea. Like, I could not make a single prediction for how book 2 is gonna go because there's just so many factors, so many things are going on. My first Rebecca Roanhorse was definitely, absolutely a success. I really feel like book 2 is going to just take the entire series to an entirely next level. I think the magic's gonna be bigger, the conflict is gonna be bigger, the characters are gonna be doing crazier things than they did in book 1. I just can't wait. I think it's gonna be so good. I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you for being here with me today as I take another book off of my physical TBR, but then add another book immediately to it because I ordered book 2 in this series. But thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any other ideas for how I should pick my next book off of my physical TBR, let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Stay safe this week. Stay hydrated as the summer is getting hotter and hotter. And I'll see you next week with another video. Goodbye!